The University of Greenwich is a major modern UK university, offering a wide range of programmes, both professional and academic. The university has three main campuses: Maritime Greenwich, Avery Hill and Medway. The Maritime Greenwich campus is centred on the principal buildings of the old Royal Naval College, a World Heritage Site on the banks of the River Thames. More than 8,000 students study at the Maritime Greenwich campus. The Avery Hill campus is set in 86 acres of parkland in Avery Hill Park, Eltham, South East London. The campus combines the style and grace of a Victorian mansion with the best of modern teaching, living and sporting facilities. Almost 6,000 students are based at the Avery Hill campus. The University of Greenwich at Medway is a major regional, national and international centre of research, consultancy and expertise, offering high-tech research and science facilities. Over 2,000 students are based at Medway. At the University of Greenwich, we passionately believe in and are contributing very substantially to widening participation in higher education. We have a diverse and inclusive community. 35% of our students are from ethnic minorities, 50% are over 25 years old, and 35% study part-time. Greenwich is both an international and local university. 15% of our students come from overseas. At the University of Greenwich, we have a history of over a century of service, with roots going back to Woolwich Polytechnic and Madame Bergman Osterberg's Physical Training College in the late 19th century. We have a long tradition of innovation and a strong vocational emphasis. With degree training at Woolwich as early as 1907, the Polytechnic was the first in the UK to offer first sandwich and part-time day release courses. Over the years, a range of specialist organisations joined the institution, giving it the diverse strengths it has today, and we gained university status in 1992. At the University of Greenwich, we have some 20,000 students. Our turnover is close to £100 million, with an annual income of over £20 million for research and consultancy. Greenwich is the top-ranking new university. The university has won 2 Queen's Anniversary Prizes for higher and further education in succession. Our Stephen Lawrence Gallery provides a showcase for the work of young artists and those from black and other ethnic minority communities. The university's network of partner colleges takes higher education out further into the community and offers a university on the doorstep throughout the region. The university works in over 80 countries around the world, carrying out research, consultancy and teaching. Congratulations on gaining your degree or other qualification from the University of Greenwich, and we wish you every success in the future.
Please be seated. My Lord Bishop, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Greenwich, Professor Richard Trainer.
Good afternoon. Bishop and Mrs. Nazarelli, and representatives of West Kent College, the University of Greenwich Assembly, European Parliament, graduates, families, friends, and colleagues. My first and very pleasant duty is to welcome you all to this graduation ceremony in this beautiful and historic building. My colleagues and I are very pleased to see you, whether you're here as an award recipient, a relative or friend of an award recipient, or as a representative of one of our neighboring institutions or localities. An occasion of this kind is one of the happiest for a university, as it celebrates both the achievements of its students and the institution's links to various key organizations, local and national. I'd like to say a word about the format of this ceremony. After these remarks of mine, there will be a speech from President of the Students' Union. Then the Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Wills, and I will confer the degrees and other awards. And then there will be the conferment of an honorary degree on the Bishop of Rochester. And then following the end of the ceremony, after a group photograph out in the Grand Square, weather permitting, we hope that you will all join us in the painted hall opposite for a reception. I'd like to concentrate for a moment on the stars of today's show, our graduates. You have my sincere congratulations. It seems to me that no degree or other academic award can be won without hard work and sacrifice. And when you reach a turning point like this, the hard work and sacrifice behind you, at least for the moment, there's naturally a great feeling of satisfaction and excitement. And I certainly remember those feelings from my own graduation ceremonies, first as an undergraduate in my native USA, and then later as a graduate student in this country. And although those ceremonies were quite a long time ago now, the feeling still comes back to me when I attend a ceremony such as this. So I share your excitement and your satisfaction today. These days, in an era when many students face financial difficulties and have to balance the demands of work and family as well as study, your achievement is greater than ever. When I was a student, we assumed without question that we could devote full time to our studies. To the many of you who have reached today's ceremony without that luxury, I offer you particular congratulations. I'd also like to say a particular word of congratulation to the families and friends of today's award recipients. Nobody graduates without owing a great deal to many other people. That's always been so. It was certainly true in my own case. These days, with students necessarily relying on family as never before, your practical support and your encouragement have been particularly crucial to the achievements of today's graduates. We're very glad that you're here with us today. Like the award recipients themselves, you've well and truly earned your right to be here. I'd also like to congratulate the members of university staff, many of whom are seated at this end of the chapel. They've contributed to the achievements of today's graduates in a large number of academic and support roles. These days, universities demand a great deal of their staff, just as society demands a great deal of universities. And I believe it's important to recognize the dedication of the staff of the University of Greenwich. They pride themselves on taking good care of our students, and this is certainly true in the School of Humanities that we're celebrating today. And they're also increasingly committed to research and consultancy, which bring the university into fruitful partnerships with commerce, public authorities, voluntary societies, and so on, and in those ways contribute to economic growth social welfare, and urban regeneration. And the two processes go hand in hand. Our staff are better at taking care of their students because they can bring to bear the expertise that they develop through research and consultancy. But to return to today's award recipients, I have to warn you that the university will by no means be finished with you after today's ceremony. In a few minutes, you'll become alumni, members of the university's Alumni Association, and in that way, part of the university's continuing community. In due course, like most universities these days, we may turn to you for assistance. In any event, we hope that you'll continue to turn to us, whether for careers guidance, for further study, or for our alumni reunions. As I look around this chapel today and share your successes with you, I'm pleased and proud that so many people of all ages, from all parts of our local community and from many other parts of the UK and indeed of the world beyond, have chosen to study here. Across the university as a whole, more than 1 in 10 of our students is from a country other than the UK, and 1 in 3 of our students, in fact more than 1 in 3, is black or from another ethnic minority. Your diversity is evident in other ways too. More than half of the students graduating this year across the university are women. More than half are classed as mature students. And the huge majority of the students who come here from the UK come from an educational background in the state sector, thereby reflecting all social groups. A conservative estimate suggests that about 40% of our full-time UK undergraduates, and that 40% is well above the average for the university system as a whole, come from the less wealthy social groups. And what's even more subtle is that not all our students are able-bodied. Some 700 students are supported by our Disability and Dyslexia Center as they make their way through higher education. That degree of inclusiveness is a particularly important aspect of the life of this institution. It's something to which the university has made a big commitment. What do I mean by inclusiveness? I mean something that encompasses both social inclusion and cultural and racial inclusion. Inclusion entails a firm stand against snobbery and exclusion. It also involves a clear opposition to racial intolerance and hatred, indeed to racism in all its forms, individual and institutional. To the University of Greenwich, inclusion means something that puts the outcome of diversity at the center of our educational and social mission. Diversity is about encompassing a broad range of people and cultures, not just as a desirable end in itself, though it certainly is, but also as the best way of spotting talent and nurturing it. Well, if we're committed to diversity and inclusiveness, what does that mean in practice? How does the university put those beliefs into action? The first thing to note is that we seek to make the admissions process as inclusive as possible. We go out to local schools and colleges, encouraging people who might never have thought about coming to university to visit us, to get a taste of higher education, through our summer schools, for example, and to apply to study at Greenwich. Diversity and inclusiveness are also central to our academic mission. They inform our teaching and our research. I hope that you'll have noticed some of that in the education you've received here. For example, diversity and meeting the needs of minority communities are central parts of the curriculum in areas such as teacher education, where we're preparing the next generation of professionals to work in the schools of London and elsewhere. More broadly, much of the university's work has an international aspect, from courses in international marketing to the work of our Natural Resources Institute, which promotes sustainable development in more than 50 countries, and which won a Queen's Anniversary Prize for the university a little over 2 years ago. Social and cultural diversity also enriches not just our academic activities, but the extracurricular parts of university experience, part of education in its broadest sense. For example, our Stephen Lawrence Gallery, which is in this building, is a showcase for diversity in the arts, and that was vividly clear last evening when I helped to open an exhibition by an artist from Ghana in the presence of the High Commissioner of Ghana. Why should a university bother to have policies on these matters? One reason is that these themes are high priorities of public policy in this country. A second reason is that we happen to serve particularly diverse communities here in South and East London and in Kent. Thirdly, this openness to talent benefits the university and the country as a whole. And this is so because equality of opportunity produces the best graduates from the widest range of backgrounds, who in turn are best placed to make a contribution to social cohesion and inclusion, as well as to the economy and their own careers. And lastly, we believe in inclusion and diversity. We think they're right. You could argue that it's self-evident that universities should be inclusive. Isn't inclusiveness inherent in the notion of education itself? Aren't universities all about attracting the best talent? That seems like simple common sense. But there are alternative models of education in this country. Some believe that higher education should have a narrow focus, justified in terms of an elitist version of those noble concepts, standards, and excellence. That approach is based on a doctrine of exclusion, on the mistaken idea that keeping people out will keep standards up. Unfortunately, those who are excluded by such an approach will often be black people and people who haven't been brought up in families and schools with a background in higher education. Now, this university values high standards, not least in the School of Humanities. Our external examiners, these are distinguished academics from other institutions who take part in our examination process in each program, they ensure that the standards at the University of Greenwich are equivalent to those of other UK universities, and indeed of universities in other countries. In addition, periodic audits of our quality assurance procedures, like the successful visits made this session to history in the School of Humanities and to mechanical engineering, provide further guarantees that we're equipping our graduates with the skills that they and their future employers require. But since our earliest days as Woolwich Polytechnic from the 1890s, and as Avery Hill and Dartford Colleges of Education from the early 20th century, we've recognized that a wide range of people have the talents and abilities to meet those standards and to profit from a university education. And that approach, in which we've been joined by other universities, by further education colleges and schools, has contributed to the significant broadening and diversifying of UK higher education in the last 15 years. And that process has done much to promote social mobility and economic growth in this country. Unlike some parts of the education system, the University of Greenwich believes in giving aspiring students the benefit of any doubt about their prospects. We believe that higher education can do its best work when it embraces the diversity of ideas and experience that characterizes the social, cultural, and intellectual world. And it's important that higher education does this. Universities are powerful public voices. They can make a major contribution to building a full, inclusive, and democratic society. As a university, we also acknowledge that there is a wide scope for freedom of expression in university life and room for lively disagreement. After all, that's the basis of our academic endeavor. But within our university community, those freedoms can only exist insofar as they do not infringe other freedoms or interfere with the university's basic values. We would never want to police what people think, for the university, like any other community, embraces a wide range of views, often conflicting ones. But we take a firm line about key aspects, about what members of the university, staff and students, actually do. All members of the university community are required to respect the rights of others to study, teach, and research without fear of intimidation or insult. We expect everyone on our campuses to adhere to our robust equal opportunities and anti-harassment policies, and we have strong powers to deal with any transgressions. This system has been put in place to give expression to our values and to protect every member of the university. Before I end, I'd like to share some positive stories with you that are relevant to these themes. And I think it's highly appropriate that the emphasis be positive, because while there can never be room for complacency in relation to such matters, the University of Greenwich is overwhelmingly a success story of multiculturalism in higher education. In this last year, our students, led by the Students' Union, have on their own initiative embraced these ideas fully. They organize their own Diversity Week with social, cultural, and educational events. The university contributes each October to the National Black History Month, celebrating the past, present, and future of all of Britain's ethnic minority communities. And just about a fortnight ago, groups from all over the borough of Greenwich, from many different ethnic traditions, including some of our own staff and students, came to this campus to take part in the university-supported Greenwich Festival. They put on a splendid spectacle of music, dance, and drama. And tomorrow, the university will be one of the sponsors of the Respect Festival at the Millennium Dome. That festival emphasizes the need for racial tolerance, and it's linked to the memory of the tragic and outrageous murder of Stephen Lawrence 10 years ago. Sometimes diversity, inclusiveness, and equal opportunities are seen as new ideas, as quote-unquote politically correct creations of recent times. But this institution has been widening access for more than a century. Our origins lie in creating educational opportunities for working people. And we were early pioneers of higher education for women. Also, by being responsive to the people and needs of our local communities, we have long attracted large numbers of students from Black and other ethnic minority communities. We've worked hard for many decades to identify and remove barriers to full participation in higher education, seeking to eliminate the damaging legacies of various forms of discrimination in our society. And as a university which seeks to combine the best of the old and the best of the new in British higher education, we're bringing these progressive traditions to our historic campuses here in Greenwich and also in Avery Hill and Chatham, each of which over time has played its own role in opening up Britain to other countries and to new ideas. So in concluding, I go back to where I began. That is to my sense of pride, which I hope you all share, in being part of a strong, vibrant, and diverse university community here in Greenwich. You, today's award recipients, with your combination of academic knowledge and of skills transferable to careers, and with the great breadth of your backgrounds and your destinations, are fitting products of such a university. You, our graduates, represent the best hope of the 21st century, with your new skills and with your minds decreasingly committed to the prejudices of the past. On behalf of the university, I offer you heartfelt congratulations and every good wish for the future. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Students' Union, the University of Greenwich, Ms. Chantelle Phippin.
Good afternoon. Can I just start by saying a big congratulations to everyone here today. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces. We'd like to say a big welcome back to all the students graduating, and of course, not forgetting to welcome all the friends and family that without their help and support, many of us wouldn't have made it. Hope that you've enjoyed your time here at the University of Greenwich, meeting a wide variety of people, all ages, colours and creeds, and from a variety of different backgrounds. All the experiences have made us into the balanced group of intellectuals that we are. As today is a marker of our academic excellence, we'd like to acknowledge the lecturers and staff that have made these achievements possible. Thank you for broadening our horizons and helping us to achieve a qualification that we can be proud of. We are reminded here today that although the key reason for most of us to come to university was to study, and today is to celebrate the academic side of our time here, some students have gone that bit further, obtaining sporting colours for playing for the university sports teams, often representing the university on a national and international level. Other graduates have taken part in student union elections, volunteered in the local community, and become student trainers for key skills. Although this is only a small part of the extracurricular activities, we'd like to say a big thank you to everyone that's taken part. As I mentioned before, none of this would have been possible without the support and stamina of our nearest and dearest friends and relatives. The ones that put up with us when books flew, when coursework deadlines were looming. People that bought us cups of tea when we locked ourselves in our rooms for days on end, doing essays. People that calmed us down when we lost all of our work on the computer, and let us borrow lecture notes, and helped us to share in the celebration at the end of exams. The list is endless. Thank you on behalf of all the graduates in the room. Thank you for giving us the help and support to reach this happy day. Although today marks the end of an era, we will go with the memory of the University of Greenwich in our hearts. We remember the good times and the bad, the friends we met along the way, and the support and commitment that the staff of the university has given us. Even though our studies may be over, or not for some, fear not. We are not alone. The university arranges reunions, and the student union is always happy to welcome back a friendly face, offering lifetime membership, so that you can stay a student, or at least try, for life. Good luck in the future. Please stay in touch.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you undergraduate, first degree and postgraduate award holders from the School of Humanities, and I call upon Dr. Jane Longmore, head of the school, to present the certificates and prizes. At the Maritime Greenwich campus, the School of Humanities, for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, English, Bemi Lalele. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, History, Nicola Jane Akehurst. Alan John Bradford. Catherine Michelle Eddy. Mark David Gilbert. Matthew Michael Hartin. James Hunt. Patrick William McCabe. Rebecca Ann Merrifield. Carly Denise Norris. Karen Denise Grace Price. John Michael Rogers. Graham Mark Taylor. Susan West. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, History and English, Tara Anita Dinsmore. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, History with Politics, Paul Stephen Fannon. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Media and Communication, studied at West Kent College of Technology, Stephen Ullman. Alex Daly. Jessica Emily Dixon. Stephanie Fiagbe. Jill Elizabeth Inn Fisher. Gareth Harbord. Gemma Louise Kingston. Victoria Charlotte Kuligowski. Maida Lacal Clement. Rebecca Louise McVicker. Carmen Guile. Michelle Mary O'Connor. Andrea Jean Pearson. Julianne Rott. Rena Roma. Adrienne Charlotte Simpson. Davina Staples. Michael Andrew Stitchman. Anthony Frank Wainwright. Caroline Inga Wheelhouse. Jonathan Richard Wills. Muna Yousefi. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Media and Society, Nega Afshar. Mark Thomas Anthony Ali. Sitara Ansari. Rachel Appleby. Manjit Kaur Bansal. Dean Peter Bedford. Adrian Thomas Bell. Martin Robert Brown. Tanya Lisa Chevon Brown. Babajide Oladeji Dada. Fari Dejimensi. Ukema Ikaeta. Ikuahedi Erediawa. Marvin Luke Green. Nassim Haki. Fernanda Zilberman Henriques. Nadine Holmes. Joshua Hippolyte. Eva Sophia Elizabeth Johnson. Cleo Kaludi. David Kigozi. Aaron Lal. Catherine Layton. Anastasia Lecker. Sonia Limbachia. Neil McCowan. Loilu Mia. Cindy Oyunyi Njoku. Charlotte Katie Pennington. Andrew Ryder. Sinem Sari. Gurpreet Tamba. Barry Allen Thornton. Mark David Trend. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Philosophy, Lucy Fleming. Wynne David Jones. Julie Yvonne Lawton. Sandeep Patel. Sophie Elizabeth Tarrant. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Philosophy and English, Sarah Bernadette Gabbins. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Philosophy with Law, Lorraine Cayenne. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Politics, James Michael Davis. Ekana Madeiros Pascal de Derian. David William Hall. Sonia Hodge. Paula McGregor. Andrew Peter Schrader. Mark John Stratton. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Politics and History, Christopher Bridle. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Politics with Law, Sabir Ali. Asa Linda. For the postgraduate certificate, Political Studies, Tess Ann Barnes. Pro Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the list of award holders. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you Master's Degree Award holders from the School of Humanities. Dr. Jane Longmore will present the certificates and prizes. For the degree of Master of Arts, Political Studies, Roger Brian Clark. Pascal Dockery. For the degree of Master of Arts by Research, History, Peter James George Bajans. For the degree of Master of Arts by Research, Theology, Matthew John Anderson. And Kellyanne Louise Nash. Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the list of degree award holders. Vice-Chancellor, I now call upon you to confer the awards.
By virtue of the powers vested in me as Chair of Academic Council and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Greenwich, I confer upon all of you who have been presented today the titles, awards, and honors to which you are entitled. Thank you.
Vice-Chancellor, we now come to the conferment of an honorary degree of the University of Greenwich, and I call upon you to present the Right Reverend Michael Nazir Ali, the Lord Bishop of Rochester.
Bishop Michael Nazir Ali has had an extraordinary career. But quite apart from the range of his achievements and the cultural diversity which he represents in so distinguished a fashion, he is a significant force in British society. He refuses to accept conventional views or boundaries, and so has impact not only in the Church of England, but also well beyond it. Bishop Nazir Ali has a very distinctive as well as a very distinguished curriculum vitae. Born in Pakistan in 1949, he had his primary and secondary education there. He then read economics, Islamic history, and sociology at the University of Karachi, from which he obtained his bachelor's degree. As a postgraduate, he read theology at Fitzwilliam College and Ridley Hall, Cambridge. He holds bachelor's and master's degrees from Cambridge and Oxford, and obtained a doctorate of theology from the Australian College of Theology with the assistance of the Center for World Religions at Harvard. His career in the church, too, has been both varied and distinguished. In Pakistan, he was a parish priest in a poor urban area, provost of a cathedral, and the first bishop of a diocese. Later, on the staff of the Archbishop of Canterbury, he played a major role in preparations for and the publications of the 1988 Lambeth Conference. He was director of the Oxford Centre for Mission Studies in the late 1980s and General Secretary of the Church Mission Society from 1989 to 1994, when he was appointed Bishop of Rochester. As bishop, he has been a member of the Archbishop's Council, theological consultant to the Crown Appointments Review Group, secretary to the Archbishop's Commission on Women in the Episcopate, and chairman of the Mission Theology Advisory Group. Since 1999, he has also been a member of the House of Lords. Likewise, Bishop Michael has played a significant role in charities. He has been on the board of Christian Aid and was a trustee of Tradecraft. Bishop Nazir Ali is also a major academic figure. He has taught at universities both in this country and in Pakistan, has been a visiting lecturer in higher education institutions in various countries, and is an honorary fellow of St. Edmund Hall, Oxford. He is the author of 8 books and of many articles. Among many other subjects, he has published authoritatively on Christian relations with Islam. The bishop's academic interest in other religions overlaps with another of his distinctive contributions to our society. Michael Nazir Ali has been a highly visible and highly effective promoter of ecumenical dialogue and cooperation. For example, he is president of the Network for Interfaith Concerns in the Anglican Communion. He is also a member of the Anglican and Roman Catholic International Commission. Likewise, Bishop Nazir Ali has shown an abiding interest in public affairs. He is a member of the Human Fertilization and Embryology Authority, for instance, and chair of its Ethics and Law Committee. All this might suggest a man single-mindedly devoted to his vocation, but there are many other dimensions to Bishop Nazir Ali. He is a devoted family man, he plays cricket as well as Scrabble, and he writes poetry both in English and Persian. My own experience of Bishop Michael has left me in no doubt about his remarkable qualities. For example, in September 2001, I heard him preach at the Diocese of Rochester's memorial service for those who had died in the recent terrorist attacks on the United States. His ability to draw meaning from those dreadful events greatly impressed me, and not only because I am an American born and brought up close to the scenes of those atrocities. More recently, when Bishop Nazir Ali was the featured speaker at a public evening at the university's Medway campus in Chatham, his openness and his ability to sympathize with diverse points of view brought new breadth to what might otherwise have been a dry subject, the regeneration of the Thames Gateway. The high esteem in which the audience held the bishop and his wife Valerie, who's here with us today, was self-evident. This is not surprising because Bishop Michael is a man of faith who interprets it in a way which breaks down the distinction between the sacred and the secular. Also, I'm greatly impressed that he has the courage of his convictions, courage which he amply demonstrated before coming to Britain in relation to the sometimes difficult politics of his native country. Even when very occasionally I don't agree with Bishop Michael, I respect the forthright way in which he advances his views. I also respect the dignity and patience which have allowed him, unlike so many other public figures, to decline to respond to unfair criticism, of which he has had more than his share. For these reasons, it is highly appropriate that the University of Greenwich honor Michael Nazir Ali. It is all the more appropriate because his diocese, stretching from Bromley to the Medway towns and on to Tunbridge Wells, coincides with a large portion of the area to which this university is especially closely related. Moreover, the bishop is an active visiting professor of theology and religious studies in the University of Greenwich. Furthermore, it is an honor for the university to be associated with the holder of an ancient office. He is no less than the 106th Bishop of Rochester, who exercises his duties in so distinctively modern and relevant a fashion. Finally, given the university's strong commitment to diversity, it is a particular pleasure to honor the person who was the Church of England's first non-white diocesan bishop. So now, Michael Nazir Ali, as Vice-Chancellor, it is an honor and a privilege for me to confer on you the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Dr. Michael Nazir Ali.
The thing about applause is whether it'll give you enough time to have a sip of water. So you've done very well. You've just given me enough time. Vice-Chancellor, Deputy Lieutenant, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to receive this degree and to put the seal, as it were, on my, by now, fairly long association with this university because, as the Vice-Chancellor has said, I have been a visiting professor now for some 6 years, and now also am a graduate of the university, like so many here this afternoon. I value very much what the Vice-Chancellor has said about the expansion and the diversification of the university in so many respects, in terms of its pupil intake, in terms of the subjects studied, and of course the different places in which the university is to be found in this area. But of course, if you have expansion and diversity, you also need, if you are going to be a university, you also need a synoptic vision, something to hold you together, a worldview or a meta-narrative, if you like. Now, of course, there are different people here who will have different things to say about such a synoptic vision, in what it should consist. But, Vice-Chancellor, if you will permit me, there are just three things which I feel are necessary in any university having what Martin White, that great internationalist from Chatham House, called a common point of reference. Three things, what are they? First of all, we must view the world as ordered and as tending to order. Some correspondence between the human mind and the world we study. It is this, of course, which makes knowledge possible at all. And it is this which allows knowledge to grow, surely a fundamental aspect of a university, as your motto itself reveals. Secondly, a university must also be about final ends and purposes. Now, I know there are so many empirical disciplines in this particular university, and empirical ends and purposes are important. The outcome of an experiment, the proof of a thesis. But we also need the bigger picture, the final ends and purposes that are involved in our study, our research, and our teaching. What is it for? Who is it for? What good will it do? In particular, the maximizing of personal and social goods is something that a university needs to strive towards. So an ordered world, final ends and purposes, and then, of course, values, which need to be grounded in your worldview or your synoptic vision. Values are not free-floating things, they arise from a common mind. In what should these values consist? Well, I think the Vice-Chancellor has already, by putting his emphasis on diversity, shown us that there must first of all be about a common acknowledgement of the dignity of all human beings. And I'm sure that the University of Greenwich does that. This is deeply in accord with a faith point of view and from a Christian point of view. There is then the point about duty. Those who have graduated have been reminded not only of their rights, but also of their responsibilities. Duty regardless of consequence. And then thirdly, there is, of course, a recognition of the results of what we do. The middle part of your motto has to do with doing. And we need always to keep in mind the effects of that doing on other people. Now, as you can see, and as the Vice-Chancellor has said, I am a follower of Jesus Christ. But I also know that spiritual aspirations are universal, and that in different places, at different times, people express these spiritual aspirations differently. I seek to learn from those who have these aspirations of one kind or another, and naturally I seek to share my own with them. I have said this before to officers in this university and indeed to the Vice-Chancellor himself, that Greenwich is very strategically placed to develop some study of world religions and spiritualities, particularly as they are represented in this area and as they make an impact on the society in which they live. I hope that the university will be able to do this. Another part of the university which I would like to see further developed is the possibility of an urban theology unit. The context of this university is mostly urban, and it is very important that people of faith, of different faiths, should be allowed to reflect on the challenges and the opportunities of such an urban environment. So, Vice-Chancellor, may I once again express my gratitude to the University for recognizing me in this way, and I hope that I will continue to make my own modest contribution to your endeavors. Thank you very much indeed.
Vice-Chancellor, Pro-Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, that completes this afternoon's presentation of successful award holders of the University of Greenwich. Would the congregation please remain seated until the processions have left the chapel and await instructions from stewards?